Hey, what's up? DFS Rico coming at you with my picks and insight for this League of Legends LEC 5-game slate on Friday, June 12th. So we got the first game of the season for the LEC, which is the European Champions League. It's a pretty good league. It's one of the better ones for sure. The only thing that's different between this and like the Chinese league, the LPL and the LCK, is sorry about that. Is that they only play best of one. So they play best of one. The other ones play best of three, obviously, as we know. So that's a little different in this aspect. But the good thing is you don't have to worry about substitutes, really. But as of right now, I currently don't know all the starting lineups for every team. Some of them only have 5 players, so it's kind of easy. Some don't even have history of playing, so you kind of can just guess who is going to start. The guys who's probably been playing the most. But so I'm going to try my best with my picks and then just see where we go from there. But before I get into it, if you could like, subscribe, comment, I really do appreciate it. Let's get to that 200 subscribers. Had good success yesterday. My picks were spot on. Went 2-0, so I think I'm 9-5 on the season. Yeah, 9-5 on the season so far for the LPL. That's really the only one, and the LCK that I'm going to keep track of, I think. The LEC is going to be too hectic, in my opinion. But, yeah, so in this game, today or tomorrow, you got 5 games. Mad Lions versus G2 Esports. G2 Esports heavily favored. FC Schalke versus Team Vitality, slight favorites. Origin over SK Gaming, which is the biggest favorites, and the odds have gotten bigger every day. And then Rogue Esports, Rogue versus Excel Esports, and then Misfits versus Fnatic. Rogue being the favorite, and then Fnatic being the favorite. And I predict a lot of ownership is going to go to G2 because they do have the craziest upside out of anybody on the slate. Last season, they are the defending champions for as far as the split season. So they are a really good team. And if you just look at each position across the lineups, and you'll see that every single one of their players is at the top of the list as far as fantasy points per game. So a lot of the ownership will gravitate there. But they are really expensive. I mean, to pair them with another team, it's really, really hard. And my preference is I usually want to try to get an AD carry or a mid laner in my captain spot. And if you're playing them, it's really, really hard. It's impossible unless you're playing with an underdog. If you believe somebody is going to beat somebody, then that's possible. But me, being the first slate of the season, I don't really know who's going to win right now. I got to feel it out a little bit. So I'm just going to go with 2 teams that I believe will win, which is Fnatic and Rogue Esports, or Rogue. Those are the teams I'm going to target today. I mean, G2 isn't bad either. But one thing with G2 and Mad Lions, last season as far as playoffs and regular season, they split it 5-5. Each team won 5 games. So, I mean, you might have leverage there if you go with Mad Lions. But I think they'll have some ownership just because of that aspect as well. But I will be going with Rogue and Fnatic. I do want to go with teams that are going to win. If you want to get crazier, depending how you want to go, if I feel like if you're playing a single entry or double ups or cash or something like that, you just play a 4-3 stack, the safest way to go, because you're only really banking on 2 teams to win. In that sense, if you're playing anything like 3 entry or more, is when you really want to start playing like 4-2-1s or 3-3-1s, just to differentiate yourself from everybody else that will be playing 4-3s. But just depending what you're doing, just depends. The more you go, obviously, the more teams you spread out, you want to be on the winning team. So when you start playing 3-3-1s or 4-2-1s, you want to have the 3 winning teams instead of having 2 winning teams like a 4-3 stack. But yeah, that's really it. I'm going to just stop blabbering and just go with my picks. So like I mentioned, you'll see the G2 guys up top. But I'm really looking at Fnatic and Rogue, and I really like Bwipo. Should have been he was one of the best top laners, probably the second best top laner last season. Just assume G2's had all the best players at every role, honestly. Bwipo, I do like him. He was solid last split. 3.7 kills per game, 8.8 assists per game. Just was really solid. Didn't die too much in that top lane. Was a consistent threat in the top lane. He can get kills. He can play carry champion, so it's going to get him a bunch of kills. And then as far as jungler, I'm going to pair him up with Selfmade from Fnatic. Playing this Fnatic and playing this Fnatic stack with Rogue really gives you options to where you can play an AD carry for Rogue or their mid laner in the captain spot. So I really do like it. So Selfmade at 7K is really solid. I do like him as well. Really solid. Probably the second best jungler in the league last season. 5.3 kills per game, 8.1 assists, 36.2 fantasy points. And then for mid lane, I do prefer Larson over Nemesis for Rogue. He just showed better upside last season. I mean, I saw him with 40-point games. Fnatic. Nemesis, I think, he's decent enough on a really good team. I mean, the second best team in the league last split, so that's why his numbers, in my opinion, get inflated. But Larson is actually a good player on his own, so that's kind of where I differentiated myself. And then as far as AD carries, if you're playing Fnatic, you're going to want to play Reckless. The best player on their team, 8.2K, 6.1 kills per game, 8.4 assists per game. He only dies 1.7 times, 44 fantasy points per game. Really solid. And then you kind of just fill in from there. Like I said, I'm going to be playing either a 4-3 stack or a 3-3-1 stack, maybe differentiating my team depending what kind of contest I enter. But this is kind of where I'm looking at right now. I think Fnatic will win, and I think Rogue will win. Not going to really worry about what everybody else is doing too much, other than the G2 aspect where I don't want to play G2. But if I am playing multiple entries, obviously I will have a lineup with them in it. But yeah, that's really it. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let's hope we get off to a good season in the LEC, and thanks for watching.